Hello, I'm Sifu Lamar M. Davis II, Executive Director of the United States Jeet Kune Alliance. I would like to welcome you to Volume 17 of my series, Junfan Jeet Kune Complete, Physical Training. In this tape, I'll be covering several elements of physical training that are very important to the martial artist. If you'll pay close attention and add some of these things that I'm about to show you to your own personal routine, it'll really help you a lot, and you can really get a lot of good practical use out of these exercises. In this tape, I'm also going to show you some specific exercises that are very good just for the Junfan Jeet Kune practitioner. We're going to do some abdominal specialization, and we're going to do some forearm specialization. I'm going to show you strength training and physical development exercises for all of the major muscle groups of the body. We're going to go over some cardiovascular training, and we're also going to talk a little bit about nutrition and your diet and rest schedule. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about nutritional supplementation, and I'm also going to discuss with you some possibilities for how you can design your own workout program to assist in your personal training. Okay, I'm going to start off with some flexibility work. Now we're going to start with the upper body and gradually work down. It's very important that the neck is loose and warmed up, because you don't want to pull anything in the neck. Have you ever noticed how a lot of times you'll be sitting somewhere or standing somewhere and you hear a noise and you'll jerk your head and you'll pull something in your neck? Okay? This is because this movement was done probably cold. You weren't really warmed up. You weren't prepared for that quick movement. So therefore you hurt yourself. Okay, so we're going to start off with the neck. We're going to do a few things for the neck. We're going to do a few things for the shoulders. We're going to do a few things to increase the upper body flexibility for such practical elements as protecting the center line. And then we're going to go into the waist and the lower back and the hip region. And then we're going to go on down and work on some flexibility for your kicking ability. Okay, so to start off, we're going to work a little bit with the neck. Now, one thing I want to make clear to you at this point is we only have 2 hours to work with here. So I will not be able to spend as much time as I would like to spend on everything, but I want to touch on everything and let you see various elements of all of these ways of training, so that you can use these to your own personal, for your own personal routine, for your own personal satisfaction, for your own personal development. Okay, so I'll be touching on everything during the course of this tape, even though I won't get to spend as much time as I would like to on some things. So we're going to get moving, and we're going to go through all this, and after this we're going to go into some strength training and conditioning and muscle development work. But starting off, we're going to work on flexibility. We're going to do a little bit with the head and neck region so that you don't pull anything in your neck. Okay, to start off with, you can put your hands on your hips, or you can let them hang loosely at your side. What you want to do is just roll the head. Don't do anything too strenuous. Just roll the head. Okay, then same thing in the other direction. Try to get as full range of motion as you possibly can out of this movement. Taking your time, doing it very slow so as not to pull anything during the movement itself. Okay, so after you've done that, then we're going to look side to side. We're going to start relatively slow. And each time you turn your head, you're going to try to look progressively further behind you, until, using your peripheral vision, you can not only see everything behind you, but you can even see a little bit on the other side. Try to keep the shoulders right where they are. Okay, next we're going to look up and back as far as we can, and then down. So, okay, those are some basic things that you can do to help warm up your neck region. Okay, now we're going to go into the shoulders. I want you to roll your shoulders to the rear. Still keeping your hands on your hips. Making sure that you come up, back, and down, and forward. Okay? Get a good, complete roll. Okay? Now roll to the front. So now we're coming back, up, forward, and down. Making sure that you get a good, complete roll. This starts to loosen up the shoulder joints and also helps to loosen and warm up the trapezius muscle. Okay, now I want you to take your arms, I want you to put them in front of you. Okay, now we're going to move them out to the rear, back, in, out, back, return to the front, in, out, back, return, in, out, back, return, in, out, back, return. Gradually speeding up as you get accustomed to the movement. Okay, then I want you to do some big circles. Circling first to the rear, which means you're going to come up in the front, go back, okay, get as much stretch as you can, down, hands come back together, up and around. Okay, all right. I want you to reverse it, going back, up, over, and down. Okay, so now you're going in a forward direction. Just relax the arms and allow them to just swing free. Okay, when you've done that for a little while, I want you to take one arm, it can be either your left or your right, whichever you want to start with. Push it across your body. Bring the other arm up and apply pressure just above the elbow joint to work on your shoulder flexibility for cross-body movements. A lot of the movements in Jeet Kune require the elbows to come into the center line. If you don't have good flexibility in the frontal deltoids, if you don't have good flexibility in the elbow joint, you cannot achieve that center line position. This is the first exercise that I show my students to help achieve that position. Okay, the next thing I want you to do, put your hands together, bring your elbows in front of you till they touch, and then press, and then release, come out and down, then back up, press, release, down, up, press, release, down. And notice when I come down, starting to work the wrist into this too. Starting to work on loosening up my wrist. Okay? So going up, pressing in, out, and down. Up, pressing in, back out, and down. Okay. Alright, then I'm going to take either my right or my left arm, extend it in front of me with the hand right on the center line. Alright, I'm going to grab my elbow with my free hand. I'm going to take my lead hand, I'm going to put it on the other side of the center, or on the same side of the center rather. I'm going to try to pull the elbow over to the other side of the center while keeping the hand on the same side of the center as the shoulder. Same thing on the other side. Pull the elbow across, hand to the outside. Okay, same thing again to the other side. And again to the other side. As I said, we're having to move through this video rather quickly due to the time confinements of the tape itself. I would suggest each of these movements that I'm showing you, do them at least a dozen times or so, preferably 2 dozen if possible. Okay, so you get good and loosened up, and you really derive a lot of benefit from the particular movements. Okay, now we're going to take our wrists, just going to sling them side to side, gradually increasing the speed with which we sling the hands. Just allow the hands to be loose and floppy. Okay, and stop. Now we're going to go front to back. Once again, just allowing the hands to remain loose and just let them flop. Okay, now just kind of move everything around, get any tension out that you may have created by staying in one position for too long or something like that. Okay, now we're going to move into the area of the waist, hips, and lower back. Okay, to start off with, I want you to put your hands on your hips, okay? And it doesn't matter which direction you go first, it's up to you. But you'll go down to one side, come back up, and down to the other side. Come back up, you go down forward as far as you can, come back up, down backward. Now when you go backward, be very careful. You don't want to hurt your lower back. Just be careful, take your time, feel the stretch in the abdominal wall. Okay, return, and side to side, front to back. Okay, from there, I want you to turn your upper body from side to side, keeping the feet where they are. Don't move the feet. Keep the feet where they are. Start turning from side to side, allowing the knees to bend. Okay, now, I want you to bring your hands up in front of you. Keep the hands close together at all times, turning from side to side as if you were firing an elbow strike to your forward center line and really following through with the strike. As you warm up to this movement, as your waist warms up, gradually increase the speed and the intensity of the movement. Okay, this is real good for the waist. Real good for the waist. This is real good for your punching power. You got to be able to get the waist and the hips into that punch. That particular exercise is real good for your punching power. Okay, I want you to take a stick or a staff such as this. I want you to put it across your shoulders. Put your hands at the end of it. Or if it's longer than your arm span, just allow the hands to drape over the stick or the staff, okay? Now I want this resting on your shoulders and not putting pressure against your neck. That's very important. Resting on your shoulders, not putting pressure against your neck. All right, now what I'm going to do here, grasping the ends of the staff, I'm going to turn from side to side, once again emphasizing trying to turn as far as possible to either side. Now from here, with the stick in the same position, I'm going to bend down as far as I can to one side and then as far as I can to the other side, keeping the stick lined up with my legs. Those of you who have problems getting your side kick above waist height, this is an excellent exercise to assist with flexibility in the area that you need to be able to bring that side kick up to solar plexus, chest, and even head high. Side to side, making sure that you keep the stick or staff lined up with the legs. It's very important. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go to the floor. I'm going to show you some of the floor exercises that I do to increase flexibility in the lower body and to enable you to be a more proficient kicker. So I'll be going to the floor now. Okay. Now, when you're doing these stretches, keep in mind that you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to go overboard on anything. Just take your time. Stretch far enough until you start to feel the stretch. Not until you start to feel pain, but until you start to really feel the stretch. Hold it for a moment. Go back to the starting position. Go back again. Try to go a little bit further maybe the next time. Once again, don't overdo it. Don't strain anything. Don't pull anything, especially in the lower back region. Okay, to start off with, I'm going to bring my feet together in front of me, like so, and I'm going to do a movement that we call a butterfly. Okay, I'm going to try to bring my knees as close to the floor as possible. I've seen instructors in some schools actually come up to the student, put their hands on the shoulders of the student, and literally stand on the inner knees, forcing the student to achieve full flexibility. This is a very good way to tear a hamstring or to tear a groin muscle. So you want to just relax with this, get a good stretch, return, go back down, go till you feel a good stretch, and return. Okay? Go back down till you feel a good stretch, and return. Okay? Alright? Then I'm going to extend my leg. I'm going to bring my right leg in, and I'm going to bend directly toward my foot. Okay? I'm going to bring my head toward my foot. Okay? Once again, I'm going to go down until I feel the stretch. I'm going to hold it for a moment, and I'm going to return to the starting position, and I'm going to go again. Like so, okay? And of course, everything you do with the right side, you want to do with the left side, okay? Or everything you do with the left side, you want to do with the right side, depending on which you do first. Alright, so you want to pull that foot in to the inner thigh so that the bottom foot rests against the inner thigh. Then bend forward, bringing the head toward the knee or toward the foot until you feel the stretch. Hold it for a moment and return to the starting position. Go down. Hold it for a moment and return to the starting position. Down, hold it for a moment, and return. Okay. From here, I'm going to extend both my legs out, and I'm going to start off by bending down to one side, go as far as I can, and come back up to the erect position, and go down to the other side. like so. And I'm going to place my hands under my legs. I'll try to spread my legs a little further. Then I'm going to just bend forward, supporting some of my weight on my hands in the floor in front of me. Just bending forward. And you have to be very careful with this. You'll feel this in the hamstrings. You'll feel this in the lower back. You have to be very careful because, as I said earlier, you do not want to pull anything. Don't overdo it. Ballistic stretching, which involves violent bouncing, is not good. I believe that if you bounce just a little bit, just light movements like so, I believe that may actually be beneficial. But you don't want to bounce violently because then you take a real good chance of doing some damage that would take quite a bit of time to heal. It's just going to slow down your training process. Okay. From this position, grab your ankles. Continue to stretch. Okay, then you want to turn side to side as if to touch the toes. If you can touch the toes, good. If you can't touch the toes, that's okay. You'll get there. Okay. So we want to go as if to touch the toes, like so. Okay. Now, from this, you can go into a split if you have the flexibility to achieve the split. All right. Now I'm going to put my legs in front of me, and I'm just going to kind of flop them lightly, just kind of loosen them up. Then I'm going to put a little bit of distance between the feet. I'm going to roll the feet outward and then inward. Outward, inward, back and forth. This is real good for improving the flexibility for your hook kicks because of the position that the leg has to achieve in relation to the hips and the position that the foot has to achieve in relation to the leg. So, rolling outward, inward, outward, inward, outward, inward, like so. Okay, you may want to do what we call a half butterfly, which is where you bring your foot in, put it on the upper thigh if possible, and just stretch the knee toward the floor. Okay, you'll feel this in the outer hip joint. This is real good for your hip flexibility. Okay. Like so. And then of course do it to the other side. Alright. Another stretch that I like to do is what we refer to as a cat stretch. Okay. I'm going to assume a position like so. Okay. I'm gonna arch my back. Okay. And then I'm gonna sway my back. Arch my back. Sway my back. You'll feel this in your sternum. And you'll feel this in your lower back. Be very careful. Do this very slowly. Don't want to take a chance on doing any damage to yourself. It'll slow your future training down. Okay, then we come up on the balls of the feet, and we come down and up. And from this position, stretch like so. Bring the head toward the ceiling. And come up and down. Stretch like so. Bring the head toward the ceiling. Pushing the chest forward through the arms. Up, down, back to this position. Pushing the chest forward through the arms. Okay. These are some of the basic floor exercises that I like to show for your flexibility training. When we return, I'm going to show you some apparatus or equipment assisted stretches that I think you'll enjoy and I think you'll get a lot out of. In this sequence, I'm going to demonstrate a stretch that's very good for your hamstring and for your lower back. This will be real good for those of you that have problems with flexibility in your kicking, especially in your straight kicks, or if your system calls it a front kick, your front kicks. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my leg up and I'm going to dorsiflex the foot, which means I'm going to point the toe upward. All right, and I'm going to bend forward at the waist toward the knee, touching the toe like so. Okay? Now each time I go down, I want to feel the stretch a little bit more. You should be feeling this in the back of the leg, the hamstring area. You should be feeling this here. Okay? Grab the foot, slight pull, like so. Okay? Then do the other side. Once again, placing the leg up, bending forward at the waist, trying to bring the head toward the knee. A lot of people like to take their free hands and put them down like so as they do this. A lot of people like to touch the foot. A lot of people like to grab the foot. A lot of people like to hold the leg around the knee joint to give some extra support to the knee. Okay? But the idea is to bend forward, bringing the head toward the knee, and feel the stretch in here. Now once again, don't overdo it. Don't go so far that you pull a hamstring, because if you do, I promise you, you're going to regret it. It's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your footwork. It's going to slow you down for quite a while. Something you definitely don't need. When I come back, I'm going to show you what I call the high side kick stretch. What I'm going to show you now is a movement that I like to refer to as the high side kick stretch, because it mimics the exact position that your body is in and the exact position that your legs are in when you're firing a side kick to approximately head height. Okay, now I've chosen something here that I can use to place my leg on. I've got a good solid hold. I can control my position. In other words, I'm very stable, and I can work on the flexibility for this particular kick, the side kick. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to adjust my position so that I can rest my foot on this bar while my other foot is on the floor, like so. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to work on getting a good stretch here, and if I can and as I can, I'm going to gradually extend the foot this way down the bar, which is going to increase the opening between my knees, which is going to improve my overall flexibility for firing a side kick. Okay, so the range of opening that I have for my hips now is probably well above head height for a kick because of the angle that my body has achieved. Okay, so I'm feeling a really good stretch now in the groin region, in the hamstring region. This is an excellent exercise to improve your flexibility. Now, after holding that position for a little while, when you come down from this, come down slow. You don't want to come down too quick. Come down slow after feeling the stretch. And then, of course, you can stretch the other side. Okay? So I achieve a position like so. Once again, working on achieving that side kick position with my foot. Okay? All right. Once again, this is what I call the high side kick stretch, or just the side kick stretch. It's very good. If you'll work with it, I think you'll like it. When we come back, I'll show you another equipment assisted stretch. Okay, look at me now. Here I am taking a break on you and just sitting down. Now, what I'm about to do, I'm about to show you a bench assisted stretch that's really good, especially if you've had lower back problems or if you've had knee problems. What I want you to do is scoot back nearly to the end of the bench. Put your leg up on the bench. Just allow the other foot to rest on the floor with the knee bent at approximately a 90-degree angle. Okay, dorsiflex the foot. What I want you to do is grab the bench and just gradually try to bring your head toward your knee. Come back up and go again. Come back up, go again. Just like I said earlier, you want to stretch to the position where you really feel the stretch, but you're not in pain. You don't want to be in pain. You just want to feel the stretch. So now we go to the other side, same thing. Down, back up, down, back up, down, back up. Okay. You also may want to try swinging this leg around behind like so and working it from that position. That may or may not be more comfortable to you. Then spread your legs like so and just bend forward until you touch the bench like that. Feel that in here. Try to keep the feet pointed outward and upward while you do this. Use your hands to support your weight. Avoid doing injury to the lower back. Okay. These are some good flexibility exercises for you to add to your individual workout routine. You may, depending on which body parts you're going to be working on that particular day, or how extensive your kicking is, or how extensive your punching is going to be for that particular workout, you may want to emphasize certain areas more than others. But the important thing is, if you have the knowledge, if you know how to do these movements, you can arrange them in the way that best suits your purpose for what you are about to do. Okay? When we come back, we're going to go into some strength training, some muscular conditioning using weights. Okay, now we're going to start our weight training, our strength training, our physical conditioning portion of the tape. We'll start off with some chest work. I'm going to show you some different exercises that you can do for your chest. We're going to start out with a basic flat bench, and what I'm going for here is to show you the proper form and the proper breathing, the proper way to do the movement. I'm not trying to impress you and show you how much weight I can lift. Okay? So sometimes I may do some exercises using just the bar, but it's the movement that I want to impress upon you, not how much weight I can lift. Okay? All right, we're going to start off with the basic bench press. I'm going to show you a medium grip, I'm going to show you a wide grip, and I'm going to show you a narrow grip. The medium grip works the overall pectoral area. The wide grip works the outer pecs and turns some of the development toward the frontal deltoid. The narrow grip turns the development toward the inner pectoral muscle groups and the triceps. Okay? So, we'll start off with the medium grip. It's a good idea to wear a weightlifting belt. You notice I'm wearing a belt. This is good for back support. Kind of helps keep everything together while you're lifting. Okay. I'm going to bring my legs up off the bench so that it forces me to keep my back flat against the bench, and it doesn't allow me to cheat with my legs. Okay, I'm going to start off with somewhat of a medium grip to show you the basic movement. It's very important during your weight training movements to inhale during the non-stressful portion of the movement and exhale during the explosive portion of the movement requiring the most muscle. Okay, so we'll start off with the medium grip on the flat bench. Notice that as I lower the weight, I will inhale. As I push the weight away from me, I will exhale. It's always a good idea to get your concentration up before the lift. Make sure you got it together. Okay, that was basic 8 reps. All right, now I'm going to go to the wide grip, which will turn the development more to the outer pectoral region and the frontal deltoid. Okay, that was the wide grip. Okay, now this next movement that I'm going to do is the most difficult of the flat bench press methods. I'm going to use an extreme close grip. This requires actually a great deal of strength. So when you're doing this, you might not want to try this with as much weight as you would use with, say, the medium grip. It's also very stressful to the elbow joints, and you feel this a great deal in the triceps. It's also very stressful on the wrists. So you want to be very careful when executing this movement. Make sure that you breathe correctly. Make sure that you concentrate. Do not lose concentration. My grip is very close here, and I have to concentrate on maintaining the balance because it would be very easy, since I'm using such a narrow, close grip, to lose control to one side or the other and drop the weights. All right, here we go. Okay, there's your basic 8 reps, medium grip, 8 reps, wide grip, 8 reps with a narrow grip. When we return, we'll show you the decline and the incline bench press. In this sequence, I'm going to demonstrate what we refer to as the decline bench press. This is real good for development of your lower pectoral muscle groups. Okay, once again, you can use varying grips on this based on the specific area of the lower pectoral that you would like to work. All right, what I'm going to demonstrate here is just 8 reps with a basic medium grip. Once again, get your concentration up. Make sure that you got it all together. Make sure everything's in the right place before you attempt to lift. Okay, that's the decline bench press. Once again, that's good for the lower pectoral muscles. Next, the incline bench. In this sequence, I'm going to show you the incline bench press, which is good for development of the upper pectoral muscles, the upper part of the chest. Okay. The frontal deltoids also get some good effect from this particular movement. Once again, you can use varying widths in your grip. I'm going to go with, once again, a somewhat medium grip for 8 repetitions, just to show you how this is done. Remember, inhale and then exhale on the forceful part of the movement. That's a basic 8 repetitions on the incline bench. Once again, working the upper pectorals. When we return, I'll show you some dumbbell flies on the flat bench. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate another exercise for the chest that we refer to as dumbbell flies. Okay, I'm going to lie down on the flat bench and demonstrate the movement. Okay, start with the dumbbells together above the chest in front of you. Now you want to inhale as you lower the weight and exhale as you bring the weights back together. Okay, so this is our starting position. You want to keep a slight bend in the elbows, just a slight bend. Do not lock the arms out. All right, here we go. Those are basic dumbbell flies on the flat bench. Once again, working the pectoral muscles. When we return, I'll show you some cable work for the chest. In this sequence, I'm going to show you some cable crossovers. Okay, I'm going to use the high cables. High grips, rather. Okay, I want to make sure that I've centered myself between the two uprights. Okay, I can either put my feet together or I can keep them slightly apart, whichever I choose, whatever's more comfortable for you. Okay, you're going to bend the knees, bend forward slightly at the waist, and pull down and across. Okay, you want to exhale as you're coming down, inhale as you're coming back up. Get a good stretch at the top. Another exercise that I like to do with the cables. Stand directly in front of the upright, center the cable with your center line. Grasp the cable handle and pull it down with a slight bend in the elbow joint. Okay, this is the approximate distance that you're looking for. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to press down toward my groin. Okay, I'm going to exhale as I press down and inhale as I come back up. However many you do with one arm, make sure you do the same amount with the other arm. When you're doing this, you want to concentrate and make sure you're breathing correctly. We're going to go into some movements for the back next. I'm going to start off right now with a movement that I like to use to improve my lopsao, or my grabbing hand in Jeet Kune. Okay. Now, the way I work this, if I'm working with my right hand, I face the upright with my left side. Okay, I line my feet up straight. I pivot on the ball of my rear foot and point it straight into the upright. My palm is up in the grip position to start. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to gradually torque and pull, and I'm going to pull it to my chest in the front, just as if I were executing a lopsao. Notice how I pivot on the ball of the rear foot as I bring it into my chest. Okay? Now, once again, do the same amount for each side. So, line my legs up straight with the upright, pivot on the ball of the rear foot, turn my body into it, palm up to start, pull through to palm down directly in front of your solar plexus. Okay. Another movement that I like to do using the cables emphasizes the paksao movement. While I'm at the cables, I want to go ahead and show you this movement. Okay. I'm going to face the uprights from the side, just like before. Okay. I'm going to pull the cable down to this position, and then I'm going to push across in front of me. Notice how I keep my palm in the paksao position through the movement. When you're training with weights, if the emphasis is to improve a certain martial arts movement, such as the lopsao or the paksao, the movement that you do should come as close to that actual movement as possible. When we come back, I'm going to show you some variations of the lat pull down for upper back development. In this sequence, I'm going to show you several variations of the lat pull, which is to develop the latissimus dorsi, the large muscle group in the upper back that gives you the fan shape, the look of the hooded cobra. Okay, the lats are a pull muscle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do movements that emphasize pulling to work the lat. All right, the lat muscles are good for use when you execute a lop sow. When you execute a jut sow, you use the lat moves. When you use manging sow, where you pull the head in, the neck pulling hand, you use the lats. So the lats are a very important muscle group to develop in Jeet Kune Do. I'm going to show you several variations of the lat pull down. The first one that I'm going to do is the pull down to the rear. Okay? Once again, I'm going to be exhaling during the more stressful part of the movement and inhaling during the recovery. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to pull straight down to the rear. Okay, that's the lat pull to the rear. Okay, the next movement that I'm going to do, I'm going to do a wide grip lat pull to the front. Now as I do this, I'm going to lean my body back slightly to get a better angle on the muscle. Okay, the next movement that I'm going to demonstrate is the close grip lat pull to the front using a palm in grip. So the palms are going to be facing in toward my face as I pull. Okay, here we go. The close grip pull to the rear. Okay, that was just some variations that we can do on the lat pull. When we return, we're going to show you some movements on the seated rowing machine. This time I'm going to show you two variations on the seated rowing machine. This is real good to get a good lat stretch without taking any chance of damaging the lower back because you have the chest support here. Okay, first I'm going to show you the vertical grip, then I'm going to show you the horizontal grip. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're at a distance where you can't just reach out and grab the bars, okay? This assures that you'll get a good stretch at the completion of the movement. So what you have to do is very carefully extend one arm and pull to you and then grab with the other hand. Okay, first the vertical grip seated row. Okay. Now I'll show you the horizontal grip seated row. It's very important that you work a wide range of movements for each muscle group so that you get the best overall development possible. Okay, here we go. Seated row, horizontal grip. Okay, when we return, we'll show you some exercises that you can do to develop the deltoids or shoulders. In this sequence, I'm going to show you some of my favorite exercises for the deltoids or the shoulder muscles. And I'm going to use dumbbells for this. Dumbbells are very versatile, and they offer a real wide range of motion. So that's why I like dumbbells for shoulder work. I'm going to show you a few different exercises involving the dumbbells. Okay. The first one that I'm going to do, I'm going to put my feet together, bend my knees slightly, bend forward just a little bit from the waist. I'm going to do some side laterals. Okay, that's one of the deltoid exercises that I like to do. Another exercise that I like to do with the dumbbells involves a very full, very complete range of motion. Some people, especially people that lean more toward being bodybuilders, do not like to do this particular exercise, but I think it has great benefit for the martial artist, especially in a martial art like Jeet Kune, where you do a lot of chi style. If you've done extensive sticking hands, if you've done any extensive sensitivity work at all, you understand the importance of shoulder strength, and also you understand the importance of a full range of motion. Okay, for this particular movement, I'm going to adjust my feet to about shoulder width apart. I'm going to start with the dumbbells at my side. I'm going to lift them straight out to the side and bring them together up over my head, and then back down to the starting position. Okay? I'm going to exhale as I go up and inhale as I come back down. Okay, you see where that emphasizes a full range of motion. Another exercise that I like to do with the dumbbells is just a basic standing dumbbell press. Okay? Alright, so I take my dumbbells, adjust my stance to about medium width. Okay, I bring them up to here. Okay, now I'm going to be pushing them straight up. I'm going to exhale as I push up, inhale as I come back down. There are many other movements that you can use to develop the deltoids, such as the military press with the barbell, which is where you stand with the barbell like so, and press straight overhead and back. You can do the same thing behind the neck with the barbell. Okay? I'm going to grab just a bar. I'm going to show you some of these basic movements. Okay, without taking time to load the bar, I'll just demonstrate some of these basic movements for you. Okay, from here, straight up, back down. Exhale, inhale. Like so. You can also adjust your grip to a wider position. Bring the bar up behind the neck and press straight up from the rear, like so. Okay. Those are some of my favorite exercises for the deltoids. When we come back, we'll be going into some tricep work. In this sequence, we're going to show you some exercises for the triceps. I'm going to start off with a close grip tricep press down. Okay, I'm going to grasp the bar using a close grip. I'm going to pull straight down to the center. I'm going to lock it into a position with my elbows at my side. Then I'm going to proceed to do the triceps pressing movement, keeping my elbows in at all times, not allowing them to flare out. That way I assure that I keep the emphasis on the tricep muscle itself. Triceps are very important for punching. The tricep is a push muscle. Very important for punching, very important for delivery of such movements as pox out, because pox out is a pressing movement. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to use the palm down grip on the tricep bar. I'm going to be pressing, keeping the elbows into the side, exhaling as I press down, inhaling as I come back up. That's the basic close grip press down, palm down. Now I'm going to demonstrate the close grip pull down with palm up. Once again, I take the close grip. This time my palms are facing inward. When I get down into the position for the curl, my palms will be facing upward. Blowing out as I come down, inhaling as I come up. That's the close grip, pull down, palm in. Still emphasizing development of the triceps. When we come back, I'm going to show you some cable movements and a close grip press with the tricep bar. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate the one arm cable tricep press down and the tricep press, or French curl as it's sometimes referred to, using the tricep bar. Okay, I'm going to stand with my center line to the cable. I'm going to bring the bar down into position. I'm just going to press from there, keeping my elbow locked in at my side. Okay, notice that once again, I exhale during the strenuous part of the movement and inhale during recovery. Okay, however many you do with one side, you have to do with the other. So here we go with the left. Okay, the next movement that I'm going to show you is referred to as a French curl, sometimes referred to as a standing tricep press. Okay, I'm going to use a tricep bar, which enables you to use a vertical grip for this particular movement. Okay, starting from here, I'm going to bring the bar up to my shoulders, then press it overhead, and then I'll be doing the tricep press or French curling movement. This is a very good movement, very good exercise for the triceps. Okay, when we come back, we're going to get into some bicep work. Okay, now we're going to show you some exercise movements to develop the bicep or the frontal portion of the upper arm. A lot of martial artists argue over the importance of good bicep development. I've heard a lot of people say that in martial arts you don't really need the bicep that much. Okay, sure, when you punch, the bicep is not used very much at all because it's a pull muscle. It's designed to bring the palm toward the shoulder, to bring the hand toward the center of your mass, towards your body. Okay, that's what the bicep does. All right. Therefore, it is important for movements like the lopsal, which involves pulling a person to you. You will use the bicep in a lopsal. The mangingsal, which involves pulling the head, trapping the head and pulling towards your body. That will involve the bicep. The choke or the strangle will involve the bicep because when I get this across someone's throat or carotid artery, I want to grab this and I want to pull using the bicep to really crank and to shut off the oxygen flow to the brain. Okay, so the bicep is an important muscle for Jeet Kune Do. All right, I'm going to demonstrate several different exercises for the bicep. All of these I'm going to do freestanding without the aid or assistance of benches or anything of that nature or any other type of equipment. I'm going to start off with one of my favorites, which is the standing alternate dumbbell curl. Okay, starting off from this position like so, I'm going to curl toward my shoulder and go back down, supinating or turning the palm inward as I do the curl, as I complete the curl. Like so. Another exercise that I'm quite fond of is just the standard straight bar bicep curl. This was the staple bicep exercise for the longest in the old days of bodybuilding, until they came out with the cambered bar, which is the bar that is bent in various configurations for you to get a grip to achieve a better pump on the head of the bicep. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate some straight bar curls at this time. Standing like so, I will curl the bar to my chin, exhaling as I return the bar to the lower position. Okay, so I'll be inhaling as I come up and exhaling as I go down. All right, or rather exhaling as I come up and inhaling as I go down. Excuse me. Okay, so what we got here from this point, notice that I maintain strict form and do not cheat. That's the best way to do this exercise. Okay, the next movement that I'm going to show you is what we sometimes refer to as a hammer curl. Okay, this is a curl done with a vertical grip. Okay, I can do this with dumbbells, but what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use the vertical grip on the tricep bar to demonstrate the hammer curl. Okay, so starting from this position, I'm going to exhale as I come toward my chin. I'm going to inhale as I lower the bar. All right, here we go. That is the basic hammer curl using the tricep bar. Okay, when we come back, I'm going to show you two variations of what we call the concentration curl. I'm going to show you two variations of what we refer to as the concentration curl. The first variation that I'm going to show, I'm going to use my inner thigh to support my arm. The second variation that I'm going to show, I'm going to allow the arm to just hang straight down with no support as I curl the weight. Both of these methods are good, but this offers a slight variation in the way that you do the curl. Okay, first of all, we'll do the variation involving the inner thigh supporting. Now the other side. Now, when I do this, I want to make sure that my arm is positioned on a perpendicular to my inner thigh, okay? So instead of being this way or being this way, I want to tee off perpendicular to the thigh, like so. Okay, now, this next variation that I'm going to show you involves allowing the arm to just hang freely, unsupported, as I do the curl. the other side. Okay. These are just some of the basic methods of training the biceps. You may discover other methods that you like. You may get into cables. You may do what's referred to as the preacher curl, which is where your arms are supported at an angle on a bench and you curl like so. Okay? Several variations, several possibilities. The important thing is that you find what works for you. Okay, in the next sequence we're going to go into some leg work. The first leg exercise that I'm going to show you is what we refer to as a leg extension. Some people also refer to it as a thigh extension. This works the quadricep, or the top of the thighs. This exercise is very good for the power in kicks such as the straight kick and the hook kick that involve the leg first moving forward and upward. Okay, show you how this is done. I will be, once again, exhaling through the mouth during the more strenuous portion of the movement, inhaling through the nose during the recovery phase. Okay, that's the thigh extension. When we return, I will show you what is referred to as the leg curl or hamstring curl. In this sequence, I'll be showing you what is referred to as the leg curl or hamstring curl. This develops the hamstring or back of the leg, and this is good for kicks that involve pulling in, the foot pulling in toward the buttocks, such as a reverse hook or sweep kick, which requires you to almost invert the leg and then fire the foot across the line. So as you fire across the line, there's sort of a pulling in movement, and this particular muscle that we're working here is very important for that movement. Okay, that's the leg curl. When we return, I'll show you the adductor and abductor. This particular machine is designed to work the muscles of the inner thigh, the groin region. These muscles are normally very weak. These muscles are for bringing the feet together. And since we do very few things that involve bringing the feet together, these movements are usually somewhat underdeveloped. And a lot of times when we teach from the trapping legs, when we teach to sweep, we teach to sweep along a line that exploits these inner thigh muscles. This particular exercise will help to strengthen those muscles, and it'll make it so that you're not so easily swept. And also, it will help you in firing off kicks such as the inside crescent kick, which involve the inner thigh muscle groups. Okay, so here we go. Okay, when we return, I'll be on the machine that works the outer thigh muscles. This particular machine works the muscles of the outer thigh, which involve pushing the feet apart, bringing the feet apart. Okay, this is good for things such as the outside crescent kick. The inner and outer thigh muscles are also used quite a bit in lateral movement in your footwork patterns such as sidestepping. Okay, so this is to develop the muscles of the outer thigh and the outer hip region. Okay, when we come back, we'll demonstrate the leg press. In this sequence, I'll be demonstrating the use of the seated leg press. This is a very good machine for developing thrust power in the legs for your footwork and to put good thrust into your kicking. It's very good for developing the quadricep, very good for strengthening the buttocks. Okay, as usual, I'll be exhaling through the mouth during the more strenuous portion of the movement, inhaling through the nose on recovery. There's a wide variety of foot placements that you can use on the platform. You have to work with it and find what's comfortable for you. You may want to do 2 or 3 sets, maybe even 4 sets of this particular movement. Each time you may want to slightly vary your footing to get a different effect on the muscle groups. Okay, when we come back, we'll show you the hack squat machine. Okay, this is called the hack squat machine. This is good for developing the entire leg. Real good for your thrusting, real good for your explosiveness. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go down as far as I can, and then I'm going to press back up. Once again, several variations are possible on foot positioning, so just try different things and see what works best for you. It would probably be best to experiment with different foot positionings on each set that you do so that you get a wide range of development. All right, here we go. When we return, we're going to go into some forearm specialization. One thing that's very important to any martial artist, regardless of style or system, is the strength in the hands, the wrists, and the forearms. Jeet is certainly no exception to the rule. In Jeet you need a lot of hand strength, a lot of wrist strength, and a lot of forearm strength so that you can grip for the trapping movements. Okay, we'll start off with the barbell wrist curl. Okay, I rest the back of my forearms on my thighs with my wrist just off the end of my knees. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to roll the bar down as far as I can, and then I'm going to roll it back up and curl from the wrist. Okay, so I'm going to roll down, roll back up and curl. Down, back up and curl. Like so. This is a very important forearm exercise. Also good for finger strength. Okay, while I've got the barbell, might as well show you a couple of other things that you can do with it. One is the standing reverse curl. Okay, I'm going to use somewhat of a close grip. Stand and curl just like this. So, another thing that I can do involves being in front of the bar behind me, like so. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to curl the wrist upward and roll the bar here. I'm going to come back down, and we'll roll it back down the fingers. Okay, so I rest my thumbs against my buttocks. I do not want to use the thumbs here, okay? So I roll and I curl. I roll and I curl. Okay? That is a very good forearm exercise. With dumbbells, you can work the standing alternate reverse curl, like so. For the forearms. And using a slightly lighter weight, you can do an exercise that's referred to as the dumbbell torque. So, I'm going to hold the dumbbells out in front of me like so, and I'm just going to torque my wrists, rolling the dumbbells back and forth, making sure that I control the movement so that I don't damage anything. This is real good for developing the muscles in the forearm that are involved in torquing and twisting movements, such as when you deliver a lops out. Okay, so you're strengthening those particular muscles with that exercise. Another important tool for forearm development is referred to as the leverage bar. Now, the way this works, I can roll it or torque it from side to side, like so, with my arm across a bench. Once again, developing the rotor muscles in the forearm that are involved when you lops out, when you grab, when you twist, and when you rotate the wrist, torquing the fist into position for certain punches. Okay. Two other exercises that you can do with this leverage bar are from the side. You can curl like so, with a vertical grip. I'm going through these kind of quickly because there are so many of them. Go back and watch these again and take your time as you go through these exercises. Okay? Then there is the forward curl, like so, with the vertical grip. So we have the backward and we have the forward. Okay? Another interesting exercise that you can do for finger strength and forearm strength involves a 45-pound barbell plate. Grip the barbell plate with only the fingertips and curl like so, bringing the plate up until it touches the base of your palm. This is a very good exercise for the fingertips, very good for strengthening movements such as the jutsal or jerking hand. Okay? Another important piece of equipment for forearm training is made by Marcy. It's called a wedge. Okay? You can wear it like so. And curl the wrist this way to develop the inner forearm. Then put it on like so. Curl the wrist this way to develop the back or the outer portion of the forearm. Okay. The resistance is adjustable by turning this, which either loosens or tightens the spring. Another nice piece of equipment for training the hands, wrists, and forearms is made by Hannibal. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is referred to as an arm blaster. Okay, hold it like so and work against the resistance by torquing the wrists inward. Then you can turn it this way and torque the wrist inward in the opposite direction. And then of particular interest to the JKD practitioner is an exercise where you can hold it like this and work on the upward torque from the vertical fist position, or hold it like this and work on the downward torque in the vertical fist position. So that's another interesting thing that you can do with this particular piece of equipment. As you see, there are many exercises that you can do for the forearms. Nice forearms, nice, hard, thick forearms are very important in Jeet Kune Do, because that's what's going to enable you to take the brunt of a lot of shots when you defend with certain moves. And also, that's what's going to give you that strength when you reach out and take hold of your opponent with a trapping move, pulling his hair, trapping his head, or just gripping his throat. Okay? So this is very important. All right, when we come back, we're going to get into what we call abdominal specialization. Okay, here I'm going to talk a little bit about what we refer to as abdominal specialization, or the development of the abdominal wall. Okay, whenever you work the abdominals, you should be concerned with three main areas: the lower abdominals, the obliques, and the upper abdominals. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, because of time limitations, is show you 3 basic exercises, one for each of these major areas. Okay, first we're going to work the lower abs. The job of the lower abs is to bring the knees toward the body, okay? So what we want to do, we want to do an exercise that most closely simulates the bringing of the knees toward the body. So what I'm going to do here is a seated knee raise with my legs off the end of the bench. Okay, so I'm going to assume a position like so. I'm going to lean my upper body back slightly. I'm going to have my knees in here. And I'm going to extend, point my toes, and come back in. I'm going to breathe out or exhale here. Inhale as I come back in. All right, now what I want to do is try to avoid moving my upper body very much. I want to concentrate on the legs doing the movement. Therefore, I isolate the lower abdominals. Okay, so here we go. Okay, I think you get the idea. All right, the next thing that we're going to talk about is the obliques. Okay, the obliques are the muscles that crisscross, come around from the side. And these are the muscles that are responsible for turning your body from side to side. This is very important when it comes to getting torque in your punches. One of the best exercises for developing the obliques is the angular seated twist. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to assume a position like so, with my legs locked under the bench. Then I'm going to put this behind me, like so I can't cheat. And then I'm going to lean back at about a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to twist back and forth. Okay, I think you get the idea. All right, that's one of the movements that we use to develop the obliques, develop and strengthen that particular area so that you have real strong torque in your punches and in your kicks. The next exercise that I'm going to demonstrate is referred to as a crunch. Okay, what you need to do is take a bench, a chair. You can lay in your den or living room floor and put your feet up on the sofa. Put your legs up on the sofa, for that matter. What you want to do is put the legs up like so. You want to form a 90-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle here. Okay, now you can put your hands wherever you want to. I like to do them like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to crunch my abdominals. This is working the upper abdominals. Now the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to bring my upper back off the floor, leaving my lower back on the floor. Okay? Now I'm going to hold this for a second, and then I'm going to go back down. Okay, now I'm going to be blowing out as I hold the up position, and then I'm going to be inhaling as I come back down. So it'll look like this. Okay, you get the idea. At any rate, you don't want to fly through this. You want to take your time, and you want to feel it. You want to feel every movement. This is very important in abdominal training. Okay, when we come back, I'll show you some of the specialized exercises that I use for Jeet Kune Do. Okay, in this sequence I'm going to show you some of the special exercises that I like to do to help to improve my personal skills in the art of Jeet Kune Do. The first thing I'm going to show you is a vertical fist knuckle push-up. Okay, now the difference in the way that we do this push-up and the way that you may see it in other arts is it is done with a vertical fist, and the fists are directly beneath the shoulders, and when we do this, we keep the elbows in to the body. Instead of allowing them to flare out like this, we keep them into the body, just like when we fire our punches, the elbows into the body. That's very important. Okay, so here we go. This is the vertical fist push-up. All right, now I want to look straight ahead while I do this. Keep my elbows in and down. The bottom 3 knuckles are on the floor. That's very important. Seen from the side. Notice how my elbows stay in. They do not flare out. That's very important. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is the fingertip push-up. This is very good for increasing your finger strength and for helping with those ripping, grabbing, tearing movements. Okay, now when I do this, I'm going to turn my thumbs inward, like so. I'm going to keep my elbows in and down as I do the movement. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is very good for strengthening the fingers. Okay, the next one I'm going to show you is what we refer to as a tiger push-up. Okay, this is primarily for tricep development. All right, and when I do this, I'm going to put my hands almost together like this, like so. And I'm going to arch my body much like an A-frame house. And that's the position that I'm going to do these push-ups from. Okay, here goes. I think you can see where this would do a lot to strengthen the triceps. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little bit of training with what I refer to as a flex cord. Buy these at a lot of sporting goods stores. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this to create resistance for certain movements. So I'm going to place it under my lead foot. I'm going to assume the JKD fighting stance, and I'm going to extend punches, finger jabs, various defensive actions, different things. I can fire a back fist, I can fire a rear straight punch, I can put it on the other foot, change leads, fire from left lead, the same techniques. You can work Lensil Dai Dar movements. You can even, to a certain extent, work your Chi Sao. The only thing is with this, the resistance is pulling down on your arms. So, it's somewhat different than when you're in actual combat. But this is a good way to train. Strengthens your arms for keeping the hands up when you're fighting. A lot of people tend to drop their guard. This helps to train you to keep your hands up because it's pulling against the hands. And if you can make a conscious effort to keep the hands up, it's very good for training you in that particular area. Okay, there are a lot of movements that you can do involving strictly tension. Dynamic tension, isometric tension, things of this nature. Okay, due to the fact that we don't have much time left, I'm not going to be able to show you much of this, but I want to show you some of the wrist and forearm strengthening exercises that were done during the Seattle period involving this type of tension movement. Okay. I'm going to stand. I'm going to extend my hands. Okay. I can do it this way. I can do it this way. This is what I refer to as the blade set because it involves movement based on the blade of the hand. Then there's the finger set, which you have what I refer to as claw and what I refer to as torque. Then you have the fist set, vertical fist, horizontal fist. Okay. Now the idea here is to resist against these movements. So you create the tension within yourself. Okay? So in other words, I'm flexing my forearms. I'm flexing my triceps. I'm flexing my lats when I do this. Okay? The final set is what we refer to sometimes as the palm set. It's like this. Okay, these are designed so that you flow through these one right after another, doing 10 to 15 of each, one right after another. And you wouldn't believe the pump, the burn that you get in the forearms from these particular movements. In a future series called Jeet Kune Training Methods, I'll go more in depth on everything that you've seen in this tape. But this is just kind of a general overview. When we come back, I want to talk to you a little bit about cardiovascular training. Okay, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about cardiovascular training. This is very important. You have to have endurance. You have to have good, as some athletes refer to it as, wind. You have to be able to endure. You have to be able to continue. You have to be able to go on. Sometimes the training gets hard, and sometimes you want to quit. But you have to be able to push yourself. Go that extra mile, work it out. So this is where cardiovascular training comes in. This is to give you that lung capacity to enable you to keep going. Okay, we can go with the exercise bike. You can go with a treadmill. You can run out on the road, on a track, indoor or outdoor track, doesn't matter. You can skip rope. Rope skipping is one of the best things that you can do. That's one of my favorite things, rope skipping, because it develops quickness, it develops timing, it develops rhythm in the feet, and it's constantly working toward building this endurance that you so desperately need. Plus, it strengthens the ankles, strengthens the calves. Very good for your spring, very good for your explosive movement. Stair climbers, stair steppers, the Stairmaster. All these are excellent things. Very good for increasing your cardiovascular potential. Another thing that is often neglected by a lot of martial artists, but should be seriously looked into by anyone training in martial arts, is a good aerobics class, a class that has a good instructor. These movements are very good, very helpful toward your overall martial arts skill. So cardiovascular training is something that you really need. It's something that you should never do without. In fact, it was said that Bruce Lee ran anywhere, he spent anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes every day running 2 to 6 miles, something of that nature. Someone recently said that Bruce Lee was a 5-miler, which means that he most commonly ran about 5 miles. So that's right there speaks well for running. In fact, Bruce Lee said that running was the king of exercises. So cardiovascular training is something that you definitely need. I'm not going to show you how to ride an exercise bike. I'm not going to show you how to run. I'm not going to show you how to do a Stairmaster. I'm not going to show you how to skip rope, because these are all things that you can figure out easy enough on your own. So don't neglect your cardiovascular training. That's very important. And it's also important for injury-free training. You have to be very careful with everything that you do. See to it that you don't hurt yourself. Don't overdo it. But this cardiovascular training can help you avoid injuries by strengthening your overall endurance and making it where you can go that extra mile without doing damage to yourself. So when we come back, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about proper nutrition, diet, supplementation, rest, things of that nature. The final thing that I want to talk to you about in this particular video is how to organize your training routine, proper nutrition, proper nutritional supplementation, and getting the right amount of rest. All these things are very important. Okay, when you're setting up your training routine, there are several elements to consider. If you're trying to lose weight, if you want to increase your speed, you should use lighter weights, do a higher number of repetitions, and do maybe 3 sets. Say 3 sets of 15 reps would be good. All right, if you're trying to put on a little size, you want to go with, say, 3 to 4 sets. In the first set, you want a weight that you can handle for 8 to 10 reps. The second set, you want a weight that you can handle for like 6 to 8 reps. Then the next set, you want to go on down to, say, 3 to 6 reps, something like that. And then the final set, you only want to get like 1 or 2. And then to increase your explosiveness, go back to the first weight that you started with and just rep out as fast as you can. That will help you increase your explosiveness. If you're on just a general maintenance routine, you want to do 2 or 3 sets of 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 repetitions of every exercise that you select for your personal training routine. So another thing that you want to take into consideration is how often do you want to train. What I recommend is like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday thing, where you have a full day in between for your muscles to recover from the physical training, especially if it involves weight training. Now, cardiovascular, forearms, abdominal training, these are things that you can do every day. But as far as the actual weight training for the other muscle groups, you want to go like every other day, something like that. Some people like to split up their workouts into what's referred to as a push-pull routine, where one day they'll work all the muscles that involve pushing, the next day they'll work all the muscles that involve pulling. Okay, so that's another approach that you can take. And some people like to do a split routine where they work like upper body one day, or work push one day, pull the next, push, pull like that, and then one day off. Other people like to do a routine where they work out the push muscles one day, the pull muscles one day, then they take a day off, and then they have push muscles, pull muscles again, and then 2 days off. Some people like to do that. So just whatever you feel fits you, just whatever you need to do, whatever your individual goals are. Okay, another thing I want to talk to you about is proper nutrition. Okay, you need to be eating right, you need to be getting plenty of rest. These are things that are very important. You need a lot of protein, you need a lot of complex carbohydrates in your diet. You need to stay away from things that are going to bog you down, things that are going to slow you down. You need to avoid the junk food. Stay away from the junk food. And you need to be getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. That's the bottom line. That's very important. Because when you sleep, your body recovers from a lot of the things that you put it through during the day. So this is a very important time for your body. So you need to give it that time. You need to see to it. That should be mandatory. 7 to 8 hours sleep. Okay, that brings us to the subject of nutritional supplementation. A lot of times, the food that you get in your everyday life just doesn't quite get it. You don't get everything you need. So to see that you do get everything you need to supplement your diet with certain supplements. One thing that I highly recommend is a good multivitamin, multi-mineral complex. This is very important. This is called Ultra Mega 2. It's very good, very high in the B complex vitamins, which is something that you need. All athletes, especially martial artists, need high quantities of B complex vitamins in their body. Okay, if you're trying to lose some weight, you may want to try Twin Lab Rip Fuel or Twin Lab Metabolift. These are both essentially for burning body fat. They're basically metabolic optimizers. Okay, they cause your metabolism to to increase. Okay, all right. Commonly referred to as thermogenic formulas because they help to burn body fat. Okay. Another thing that we need to talk about here is building good quality lean muscle mass. 100% egg protein. This is by Optimum Nutrition. Very good stuff. Okay. This is something you need if you want to build good quality, solid, lean muscle mass. Okay. For those of you who want to gain some weight but you don't want a lot of added body fat, there's Genesis Nutrition Super Weight Gain 1800. This is very good. This is a very low-fat formula. Okay, so this is real good for putting on lean muscle mass without a lot of unwanted body fat in the process. All right. Sometimes when you go to class or you're getting ready to go to class, you just don't quite feel up to par. You just don't feel like things are where they need to be. In other words, you feel kind of down, kind of gloomy. Okay. This is called Dimetadrine 25. What this is, essentially, is it's a substance that is referred to as ephedrine. Okay, this is a bronchodilator. Okay, and what this will do, this will give you a little boost. This will, help you through those times when you don't quite feel up to par. So, Dimetadrine 25, it's a good thing to take for those times. Okay, another thing is Champion Nutrition Cytomax. This is really good stuff. Okay, this is sustained energy and electrolytes. So this will help to buff the lactic acid that builds up in your body during your workout. A lot of times you'll get that burn, you'll start to hurt, and you'll feel like you're just not going to make it through your workout. This is good stuff. This will really help. Okay, this lowers the lactic acid level and enables you to keep going, put out more, gives you more energy, just all the way around. Have a better workout. And your muscles will thank you for it. You won't be quite as sore after your workout either. It's real good for helping you recover after the workout. So this boosts your energy during the workout, and it's real good to help you recover after the workout. Okay, if you're interested in acquiring any of these products or other nutritional products, you can contact Alabama Nutritional Products Incorporated. Ask to speak to Philip Ogle. The number is 205-945-1991. Philip's a good guy. He'll be glad to put you on to any of this stuff that you need, plus a lot of other stuff. He's got a lot of things that might interest you, a lot of things that the martial artist needs. When I come out with my new manual and catalog for USJKDA members, it'll include all this stuff in the catalog. There'll be an order form there. You'll order it directly from Philip. If you want to get started now, though, give Philip a call. Tell him you're a USJKDA member, and he'll give you a little discount off of the price of this stuff, and it'll really help to boost your workouts. But think about the specific goals that you have. Think about the things that I told you about here, and base your order on the things that you need, okay? Personally, I would recommend all of it. I think all this in combination, you have some great workouts, your recovery time will be a lot better, build lean muscle mass, burn body fat, have more energy, the whole 9 yards. So give Philip a call and tell him that Lamar Davis told you to give him a call and get your hands on some of this stuff. It's good stuff. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed Volume 17 of Jun Fan Jeet Kune Do Complete Physical Training. I would like to thank GNC Nutrition Center at Wildwood for providing me with the clothing that